All right, family, we're going to go ahead and try another round of this or see if we can get the stream to work. This is my second attempt today to stream. Hopefully it works well. If anybody does notice any issues, please let me know. I just got to move a couple things around here. Figure out my computer. There we go. So yeah, if you guys could just let me know how it is coming in or if it's working, and if it screws up, let me know. So, but thanks for checking out today's video. If you're new here, sorry for all the issues, but my name is Jonathan and I created this channel to record my progress as I work towards my goal of losing 300 pounds in 3 years. I'm going to go ahead and just switch over to the main and get going because I don't have a ton of time. I'm going to be paying attention to the left of me here because somebody's supposed to be stopping by the office. But thanks everybody for coming back. Christy and Carrie and Pretty Girl's mom. I'm sure some more people will trickle in here over the next few minutes. We're going to try to go over food here, see if that doesn't crash my computer, and then just talk about the busy weekend ahead and making sure that we are ready and prepared to be running around and away from the kitchen. So let's go ahead, pull this up, see if it works well here. This, I did not end up getting a photo of the Mega Veggie Chili in my bowl. I just didn't think about it. So here is a picture of the Mega Veggie Chili from last night that I had when I got home. I did have actually another picture here of the what I ate after stream. I was going to eat this on stream, but then it was real dry. So and it was hard for me to kind of eat that and talk at the same time. So I finished that after stream, then had Mega Veggie Chili. Then this morning we had oatmeal. I ended up adding a little bit too much lemon juice to the oatmeal, but it was still pretty good. And then for lunch, I had leftovers of the Mega Veggie Chili. And then we had... I didn't realize that we had the Mega Veggie Chili here, so I cooked up some potatoes and had a couple 2 or 3, just plain potatoes, just ate them kind of right out of the Instapot. And they're wonderful when they're nice and warm. Like I said, I don't have a ton of time. If anybody does have any questions, feel free to ask them below. If I don't get a chance to answer them today, I can address them in a future video. Or if you are watching the replay or watching this after the live stream, feel free to ask any questions and I'd love to answer them. Rochelle Spector says that she's here from AJ. Hi all. Thanks for checking out the live stream here today, Rochelle. I hope everything's going great for you. I'm looking for, I'm excited you're here. So, me and Carrie have been talking all day about how busy our weekend is this weekend. It seems like it's going to be just a wild one because it seems like as our kids get older, they start getting invited to more and more Halloween parties and events. And it almost feels like this is kind of, one of the last weekends before winter hits. Once we get into November, the weather gets colder. I don't even know what the weather's supposed to be here this weekend. I imagine it's going to be okay. It's been a little cooler, but high of 60s isn't too bad. Or, high of the mid 60s isn't too bad for us here. But yeah, it's just going to be a crazy weekend. We got things lined up for almost all of our kids for different times for different reasons. And then Carrie also had things lined up for the nonprofit. I have some work I have to get done, which Carrie's going to love me for tomorrow or Sunday, whichever day I can get it in here and get done some of my work I need to get done before Monday. But it's going to be a really busy weekend. But one of the fun things that we are going to do this weekend is that we live in Iowa, and there is a place that's not super far from us that is called the Iowa Farm Sanctuary. And on tomorrow, we are going to go up to the farm sanctuary with the kids and meet some of the animals they have there. So I'm very excited to go up there and have that experience. It's going to be a little bit different for me than any time, like going and seeing these animals. It reminds me, or it makes me think of kind of the other times that we've gone to different places to see animals. Obviously there's the big things you can go like to a zoo and see, zoo animals, but something that I hadn't really thought about before I read the book, This is Vegan Propaganda by Ed Winters, was the reality of some of these experiences that I've had in the past. And one of them that really hit hard was going to a pumpkin patch with our kids. And going to a pumpkin patch itself is not a big deal. You're just going and getting pumpkins and getting ready for Halloween. But what hit me was that prior to starting this channel, I had got some camera things, and we were doing some videos or recording the family, and we went to the pumpkin patch, or a pumpkin patch, and at the pumpkin patch, they had animals there that you could feed. They had chickens, and they had some, other animals, but then they had the ones that I specifically remember, the kind of reading the book affected me the most about, were the goats. And the reason why it kind of, like I said, I didn't realize, or it hadn't put two and two together before reading the book, but I had this wonderful memory of being at the pumpkin patch with my kids, and we were going all over the place. They had slides they could go down. They had these like the pits of like corn kernels. It's like a sandbox, but it was like a corn box they could play in. And they had all these things. And then they had the goats. And the kids spent a lot of time feeding the goats and kind of trying to touch them and interacting with them. And I didn't think much of it, thought it was a great experience. And then I read that book, and they kind of talk about, well, those goats that we were feeding at the pumpkin patch were very young, and we were feeding them, and they were cute, and we were having fun. But those goats were going to be Easter dinner for everybody. And so I just think they're cute goats. And in my head, like when you see a baby goat, you think about it growing up and being an adult goat and living its life. But that's not the reality for most farm animals, is that those goats are there or for what they can provide the farmers or the people that are raising them. And so it was like this weird, like this cool memory, and it's still a cool memory. I still enjoy it. My kids, may remember it, or my older ones may remember it more than my younger ones, but it's kind of tainted slightly because of kind of what I know now. And so that's really an interesting thing. But let's see. Christy says that she would love to go to a farm sanctuary. Rick says he went to the patch last weekend. And then Rochelle said that you've gone to a farm sanctuary when your children were very young. So yeah, I'm kind of excited to go there with our young kids and for them to kind of meet some of these animals and kind of understand a little bit more about kind of this lifestyle that we, are exposing them to. It's really an odd thing as a parent because, I know that I have quite a bit of control over what the kids do now or say, or eat now or what they experience, but I won't have any control over that after they grow up and they leave the house. And so I'm hoping that, going and doing event, things like going to the farm sanctuary and showing them kind of the reality of these animals that people just treat as if they're, a commodity is, that they're actually creatures that have feelings and they have, love for each other and they have, really very close to, what a lot of human experiences are. And, and also like what's interesting too is at these farm sanctuaries is many of the animals that are at the sanctuary, from what I can tell, have some sort of disease or condition that made them useless to the agriculture industry in the first place, and kind of just the discarding of these animals, that if the farm sanctuary wasn't here to take in these cows that had these hair lips, or these deformations on their face, or their they might not walk well, or they might have something, that if the farm sanctuary wasn't there, that they would just be another dead animal and amongst tens of thousands of just other dead animals. Because when you look at human populations, there's lots of birth defects that happen to humans naturally. There's people that have different conditions that they're born with. Even my daughter has a genetic what is it? I'm trying to think of what the right word is that's not offensive. But my daughter had an issue with her eye, that she's mostly blind out of one eye at birth. And with humans, we have a wide range of acceptance of people with different abilities than the rest of us. But when it comes to these animals, these farmers are not going to have that same amount of flexibility. If that animal can't if that animal can't drink from the water sources that are provided from it, then the farmer's not going to create a way for that animal to be able to drink. They're just going to get rid of that animal and replace it with another one, because they can, because there's so many of them that they go through. And having these losses is part of the business. Like male dairy cows are just part of, them having to be, terminated is just a natural part of the business. It's the cost of doing business, is that we don't need any male chickens in the egg laying industry. We don't need any male dairy cows. And so, it'll be interesting to go. The other experience I think about when I think about us going to this farm sanctuary is when we were in St. Louis. We went to a place that was near Carrie's, near my in-laws, that was like this animal farm, and they had all kinds of crazy animals. They had like camels there, and they had lots of other animals there. And again, a lot of great memories, thinking about, oh, look at these little babies. They got these heaters and they're taking care of them so well. But at the end of the day, if it wasn't for the profit that people that owned the place that we're making, they, who knows if they would have those animals or how many of them that they would have. So, so yeah, it's going to be interesting to check that out. Carrie says that they're giving out vegan treats. They're having a vegan trunk or treat at the end as well. And that's part of the reason that we're going. Rochelle says that your youngest has been veggie since birth, since you were vegetarian while you were pregnant. Anthony's asking if the Living History Farm is still in Des Moines. It might be. I feel like I've heard of it, but I have not been there. Yeah, and Rochelle, that is really awesome that your kid has been a vegetarian. Your kid's a vegetarian since birth, I'm imagining. We switched our kids over, about a year and a half ago, and so our youngest, who are 6 years old now, I imagine that as they get older, they won't really remember much of a life with, before we started eating this way. And then my older kids do a little bit, but they really are on board. Like, that's one of the most surprising things. Maybe not surprising, but one of the things that I really am happy with right now is that our kids don't argue with us about this or try to fight us over the foods that we make available for them to eat. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that this weekend and kind of having maybe more close-up interactions with a cow or pigs. Goats you seem to see around a lot. I have actually family that was in the dairy industry, some cousins or some relatives. And so I have had some, I've been around cow, but this is years and years ago. So it'll be interesting to be kind of up close and to kind of see them having their own personalities. Again, that's something that just doesn't really, you don't really think about when you're eating animals, is that all these animals are so unique and they're each individuals. And, it's easy to think of them as a commodity because that's what the industries want us to think of them as. So, and Carrie's saying, yeah, the animals that have these imperfections, they were born imperfect, but we are all born imperfect in some ways, Cindy says that animal agriculture is pretty despicable. Yeah, if you wanted to really get into seeing that side of it, there are some documentaries you can check out. If you go to watchdominion.org probably, or if you look up Dominion, that's a really hard one to watch. There was another one on YouTube I watched that was called Dairy is Scary. That one was also a little bit harder one to watch too. So, yeah, and it's, these animals are just worth, like, I can go to a store and buy a whole chicken for like $6. I don't even know what it costs anymore, but like, that's all that whole animal was worth. Like, they didn't feed it more than $6 worth of food the entire time it was alive. That just seems crazy. Plus you had to transport it and process it. Like, it's crazy to think that something could live its whole life and it could boil down to a $6 item, but that's the world we live in. So, yeah, I keep looking here because I'm waiting for somebody to show up. I really don't have a whole lot of time today, so I am gonna cut it short. I'm looking forward to the busy weekend. I'm gonna be really excited when it's over. I'm realizing right now that I have some meetings on Monday that are later in the day. So if I go live Monday, it most likely won't be until 4:30 or 5. And so so I will be live on Monday, but it'll probably be later than normal. It sounds like the person I'm waiting for is here. I don't know how I missed them, but they are here. So I am going to have to go. I want to thank all of you guys for all of your support. It really helps me get through all of this or any difficulties that I have had. Your support has definitely helped. I will be live again Monday. Make sure that you subscribe to, oh shoot, Monday's Halloween. I don't know if I'm going to go live Monday. I might not go live Monday. I might go live Tuesday and then make that like a big deal because that's going to be my 2-year anniversary. So I'll let you guys, I'll figure it out or I'll get a video in. But yeah, I'll be live next week. I'm really excited because next week is the 2-year mark that I've been doing this. And that's amazing to think that I've been doing it for 2 years. So I'm looking forward to that. But make sure you get subscribed to the channel, click on the bell icon so you get alerted when I go live or post new videos. And I'd really appreciate it if you hit that thumbs up on the video and like the video. I've noticed that I've been getting a lot more likes and I think it's helping. So hit the like on the video as well. If you haven't started your diet yet, get started right now. There's nothing coming up that's more this week. There's nothing coming up this weekend that's more important than your health and your overall well-being. So just get started. Don't wait. I absolutely wish I would have started sooner. Everybody who reaches their goals wishes they would have started sooner. So get started right now. Thank you guys so much. And I gotta go.